Hello, we're term 16 of our presentation on combined process of reactive ion etching and dynamic chemical etching. We will present it in the order of the following table of contents. Reactive ion etching is the process which uses plasma and sputtering etching. Outstanding advantages of RIE are fast anisotropic etch, which means high etching rate and high selectivity. DRIE is an extension of RIE, which makes the high-rate etching of deep and narrow structures possible. It differs from RIE in that it uses two or more RF generators to independently control plasma generation and ion bombardment. Intrinsically, dry etching has some limitations. The problem of device damage caused by high power is a serious challenge for forming patterns with fewer errors. For solving these challenges, researchers consider the combining processes and finally observed some outstanding results from combined process of RIE and DCE, dynamic chemical etching.
Reactive ion etching and dynamic chemical etching combined process is introduced to maximize the laser-induced damage threshold. To improve the laser damage resistance by completely removing the damage precursor, relatively large etched amount was required, and this may result in the surface damage and roughness. To prevent unexpected layer damage in the RIE process, a new process should be introduced, which is the combination of RIE and DCE process. The procedure of combined process is as follows. The optimized RIE pretreatment should be done on the side of fused silica optics and remove the damaged precursors near the surface to prevent defects to be worsened by the HF-based etching. It is done in a parallel plate discharge etcher using a CHF3 argon gas mixture. Then, the DCE treatment is done on above the size of fused silica optics in two steps under megasonic conditions. First, an inorganic acid cleaning should be done to remove the metal impurities created during the RIE treatment process. During this process, the sample should be submerged into the mixed inorganic acid. Second, the buffered HF-based etching will completely remove the secondary deterioration layer and will minimize the defect density of the subsurface. Subsequently, the ionized water is used for rinsing the sample. The significant increase in the laser damage resistance can be explained by following three factors. First, high-density precursors with low damage thresholds are removed and prevented in the combined process. Second, the structural defects are fully removed. Third, the fluorescence results show relatively stable chemical structure with fewer oxygen-deficient sectors removed after the DCE retreatment.
The challenges of RIE-DCE combined process is that deeper RIE treatment induces the damage to the bonding structure and the degradation of the surface quality of the optics. These are the factors that limit the increase of the LIDT. RIE process itself newly produces chemical structural defects including SiO bond damage, ODC and MBOHC and so on. Also, the surface roughness is considerably high and the predicted reason is because of the chemical etching during the RIE-DCE process. The challenge is that we should resolve our synthetically structural errors. Thus, we can find the ways of resolving the structural defects to applying or researching other etching. Also, we can control each chemical etching process and figure out the optimized point that decreases the flaws at most by conducting some detailed experiment, research, and reference. And we can also use substrate with the stronger bonding and with other surface materials that can decrease the flaws comparing the precedents. We can suggest the optimized combining process that we can achieve a huge enhancement in another exciting process in terms of structural improvement with a relatively low removal amount, while effectively controlling the surface shape and roughness of fused silica optics, the chemical bonding in the process.
The combined process of RIE and DCE was first introduced to improve the laser damage resistance of the fused silica optics. Compared to a single process of RIE and DCE, it can remove the surface defects more effectively. However, there are still some challenges. Deeper RIE creates bone damage, serious surface degradation due to RIE process itself. To solve these problems, we can apply other types of etching and control each chemical etching process. Also, we can use a substrate with stronger bonding surface materials or suggest an optimized combining process that can achieve a huge enhancement in terms of structural improvement. Further studies regarding this process should be done to better solve the problem of degradation of the surface quality and to better improve the pretreatment step to handle with the fundamental mechanisms of damage. If this process is further studied, it can help to manufacture the optics of better qualities. The optics can be used in our daily life, such as lens of cameras. Also, for the researchers of any field using microscopes, they will be able to conduct a more precise observation with the enhanced equipment to make new findings. Thank you for listening to our presentation.